Hi there, I go by the name the Celtic Storyteller and welcome to this short video which is going to be a deck flick through for this Egyptian tarot deck, which I've already opened yesterday, I couldn't help myself, and it's by Scarabeo in Italy. Apologies if I got that pronunciation incorrectly, or that pronounced incorrectly, and the artwork is by Silvana, Alasia. Now, if you're going to get this deck yourself, if you like it, I would recommend getting the one that comes with the booklet. I thought that's what I was doing, but I just got the one with the small booklet. It's not the book that really explains everything, and you'll see in a moment why that's important, because for the major arcana, they all have these hieroglyphics on them. They're really detailed and I'd love to know what they mean, and I don't. It's not in this booklet. This is a really simple booklet. Now what I'm going to do is I've put the cards back in order, and I'm going to flick through each of the suits for you. I'll flick through this for you just so you see what comes with it. So you just get the box, you just get these two little cards advertising other decks, okay? And then you get the cards. So I'm going to start with this, the wands here. Okay, so the back of the deck looks like this. It's really lovely. They're the one set of cards I have that kind of slip. I don't know if you put them down. They kind of, slide along the table. It's slightly annoying. All the other cards I have don't do that. Now, there are 6 languages on the cards. Okay, so you have English, Italian. I presume this is the order they're in, okay, because I know this is English and French here. Spanish, French, Dutch, Portuguese, which is great. There's a little explanation about the history of the cards in the book, but you'll see it doesn't actually go through what the hieroglyphics mean and what the symbolism means. There's just very short explanation of all of the cards, okay, and then the next one is the next language. So that's why, the full book doesn't give you detailed explanation. It's only, each language is only this short in the book. Okay, so let's start with the wands, and actually just to give you an idea of all the suits together. So I'm just going to show you all the suits together so that we can see similarities as we go along. Swords and pentacles. So aren't they absolutely beautiful? I'll just move that over there. Now, so they're really colourful. I love cards that are colourful. I love symbols. If you know anything about me, you'll know that. I really love symbols. I love hieroglyphics. I'm trying to learn a bit more about them. So when I do, I'll probably be able to do a better review of this. Okay, so here are all our aces. We have wands, we have cups, we have swords and pentacles. So I'm just going to flick through this so that you can see for yourself what they look like. Here we go, the twos. Because I think it's nice to see if there's similarities in the way the numbers are shown together, because then by eye you can kind of notice a numbered card quickly, because they don't have the same type of pictures that the Rider-Waite-Smith does. It's just one of these decks where the suits have items, and I find that harder to read because I'm used to Rider-Waite-Smith. So here we go. So as you see, it's not, this would usually be Two of Wands. That's the doorway, so that's what I mean. This deck is quite different. This is usually a juggler. And this is usually a woman with her hands crossed over her heart. So there's the twos, here's the threes. Okay, so again, the items on the cards aren't placed in the same position. So by eye, you don't know, the threes are like, they kind of go down and across in this card and across in this card, and they're mixed up in this card. But I really like the extra imagery as well as the item of the suit. There's our fours. There's our fives. This one was coming out for me the other day. I just found it interesting the way it's separated, because the way the Five of Swords is conflict, but when you see the Three of Swords together, it makes you think of, well, is this conflict of the heart? Here we go, our sixes. Okay, so with the 6, there's an opportunity to group the items within the card evenly. So you could have a 3 and a 3, or 3 sets of 2, if you know what I mean, but they're not done that way. So again, you know, for somebody like me, with cards like these, I don't read them as quickly as I would other cards, because it's not easy to group the amount of items in the card, to count them visually as easily. That's just the way I am. Okay, so here we go, 7s. Okay, so again, they're not placed in the same way along the suit, so you have to learn how each 7 is matched. I know obviously you can read the number at the top of the card as well, but I tend to read by pictures. Here's our 8s. Now that's nice and even for me, I can read that easily, but I have to read those separately, if you know what I mean. Here's our 9s. Oops. 9s. Okay. As you can see, the scarab comes up in a lot of cards. And 10s. I like the 10s. Okay, and now we have the knaves, or pages. So now we have consistency across the suits, because all of these guys are scribes. They're all facing in the same direction. And so they're all more or less doing the same thing, and this suit is, the item of the suit is along the side here. So we have the wands, cups, swords and pentacles. Okay. And then we have the knight. Okay, so I have that in the wrong order, so sorry. Okay, so again, all the horses are going in the same direction. All the horses are actually in flight, or in motion. So again, that there is not the same kind of differences that you would see in the Rider-Waite-Smith. But there is enough differences, obviously, within the suit itself. Horses are different colours, you know, they've got different little fans and stuff with them. Okay, and see, these are the only 2 that have hieroglyphics on the cards as well, pentacles and wands. Okay, knight, queens. So this queen, see the way her legs are drawn, it just looks a bit odd. It looks as if she's both standing towards you and standing to the side. So that's interesting. That'll be interesting in readings, you know, like that you would interpret that different ways. Okay, and then we have our kings. So sorry, the queens, just see which way they're facing. So there's they're facing different ways. And the kings are the same, they're facing different ways. So it's just interesting to see. So they face each other. Yeah, they face each other. They face each other, you see? They face each other. So if you ever get the matches, the kings and queens in a reading, they're going to face each other. They're going to be talking to each other. Now that I think of it, I don't think I've done that exercise in the Rider-Waite-Smith. Yeah, because the Rider-Waite-Smith, from memory now, the suits, the kings and queens in the suits don't face each other. They're often facing different ways, or looking forward or sideways. So it's interesting that these pair up, these match nicely. Okay, so those are all your suits. I really like the back of the cards as well. What do you think? They're nice, aren't they? Okay, now let's do the major arcana. I'm just going to move these out of my way so I don't knock them over. I'm going to have to play my 11s again to mix those up. Shuffling is good, but it doesn't, you know, you need more than shuffling and splitting the deck. Okay, now, the major arcana. This is the real teller of a deck of cards, isn't it? Okay, so the fool is not jumping off a cliff, but he looks like he's going to be eaten by a crocodile, but I presume that's actually his friend, because the dog is the friend in the Rider-Waite-Smith. Now you see what I mean by all the hieroglyphics. I did try to start to translate these, but the website that I found didn't have enough hieroglyphs to translate, and sometimes you group them together to make a word. So yeah, it was no good. I wasn't able to, but I'd love to know, are they random? I don't think they are. I think they're supposed to say something and mean something. And look, they all have another symbol down here. I'm sure somebody, if you know if you do know what these mean, or what symbol, what language this is from, I'd love if you wrote it in the comments, if you let me know. And I'm sure other people who are looking at this, if they're interested, would love to know as well. I have tried to Google this a bit, but I haven't found anybody that's gone through this in detail. Okay, and then we have our magician, who's green, and the high priestess. I really like the cloak of the high priestess. Whoops, see the way it's in a kind of a triangle there. And we have the empress. So I did look up, there's a mother, I did look up the symbol for mother. It's a combination of symbols and I don't see it there. So again, I'm not sure if there's meaning amongst these, but I really like the way the sun is around the empress. Okay, the emperor, see, he's got his legs crossed like the hanged man does, and the guy slash girl in the world. Okay, we have our Hierophant and the lovers, who aren't looking at each other, funnily enough. The Chariot, Justice, who has lines. See? And it's male and female, I think. Is it? Are they both male lions? There seems to be more of a mane on this one. And actually that one looks like it has a beard, but that's... I'm sure there's symbolism behind that. Okay, the Hermit. There's his lamp. The Wheel. Quite similar. Oh, you're going to see this guy again, so look out for him. And Strength. Okay, that's similar to the Strength card in Rider-Waite-Smith. Oh my god, the Hanged Man is having a go at a poor calf. Looks like he's going to sacrifice him. That's really quite different to the Hanged Man in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, isn't it? Death. Who has scales like Justice, which is very interesting. Temperance. Has the jokes. Okay. And the Devil, here we go. The snake coming out of the devil's belly. It's interesting, isn't it? It looks like a fire dragon. The Tower. So the house is a pyramid. Or the tower is a pyramid. The Star. Sorry about that beeping. That's my dinner. Okay, the Moon. Fairly similar again to the Rider-Waite-Smith. The Sun. Judgment. And the World. Just keep that up for you to see, sorry. So I've already done a reading with these cards and I got a very interesting outcome. I think you have to, I don't know, get in the mindset, the kind of Egyptian mindset. I mean, this really calls to me on a different level, because when I was growing up, like Egyptian hieroglyphs and, you know, everything they were finding in Egypt, it was all a big thing kind of in my day, I think. And I've just been fascinated with Sphinx and you know, Egyptian culture, and, you know, I'd love to learn more about it. And this is the excuse for me now to learn more about it. I'm actually, you know, I've written a book as well, and I'm, you know, concentrating on one of the books in the series. It's going to be concentrating on Egyptian culture, so I do need to learn a lot more, or ancient Egyptian culture, I should say, and modern Egyptian culture. So I really hope you liked that little quick flick through. I'm just going to put the cards up here for you to have a look again with all the suits. Yeah, they're pretty amazing. I think I'm really going to like them. Look at that. See the way they slip around. That's none of my other cards do that. Okay, see, there it goes. These are the Egyptian tarot. Why don't I do a super quick shuffle and pull a card and let's see what we get. Now, obviously these aren't shuffled well. I'm going to have to go through them and give them a good proper shuffle in a while, but let's just get ourselves a card while we're here. Now, ask yourself a question, and this is going to be your answer. Oh, the moon, which could be the answer coming in your dreams. That's, you know, often I find the answer you kind of know, but there's something missing. You know, there's a part of your answer is missing. You really have to look deep inside to find out what's really going on. Oh, there you go, the unknown, which is just kind of about this deck. There's a lot of unknown about this deck for me at the moment. I have a lot of learning to do, and I really want to get that book that goes with it. So if you know anything about the book, I'd absolutely love it if you dropped maybe a link below to where I can find it, or the name of a book. Like I said, there's one that comes with the set of cards. I can't find it on its own. Okay, so I hope you really liked that. I'm wishing you and your family all the best. So take care now. Slán go fóill. What do you do when you know you've missed out on the future you were meant to have? When every day is a trial, every task a poor reflection of the truth you wished you were living? You get on with it. I waited, and with the first breath of possibility, I jumped, sink or swim.